This is another thing where I didn't blow dry my hair, and it always looks. I'm gonna look like a scrub daddy.
No, it looks
Yeah,
curly.
no, it's never good.
It does look rock and roll. It looks.
Thanks. It looks like I'm not well, and I might not be. Things are.
I am average to below average today.
If I'm a level 6, I feel like I'm winning. Speaking of, let me get my soda. Everyone's stop drinking soda, and you'll be so much better.
Oh, shut up! I don't need advice from anybody.
I need another goddamn person telling me what to do. I can't deal with it.
I am. It might be shocking to you, but I am working on stuff.
I'm not.
I told Britt last night. I go. You know what? And this is so true. I told myself that before we go out on tour, hey, are we podcasting?
Are
by
we
the way?
podcasting? I think we are.
Okay, because we're about to go on tour. So go to IMOMSOHARD.com and get tickets to come see us live. And I go, it's starting soon. So until we go on tour, I'm going to do yoga every day, no wine. I'm going to get up early, and I'm going to start tomorrow. And I just keep saying I'm going to start tomorrow. Because God, it's hard times right now.
It's just there's just so much going on. There's so much going on in the world. There's so much going on in our daily lives. There's so many people that don't like us. Well, it's a nice respite when you go to the podcast because you're like, feel like if you're listening, you like it, you like us. But if you're listening because you don't like us, then we're doing something for you there too. So it just feels like a nice place to be.
Yeah, you can really schadenfreude the hell out of yourself just knowing that we're really
with you.
Struggling right now.
We're with you.
But I do feel like I think about the moms all the time because the moms are always doing 40,000 things while trying to be a human. And it's like, you add one more thing to the mix? Every day I wake up, can you add one more thing I need to worry about?
No.
It's like, it's...
And might I just say I'm having a delightful run of sciatica.
Oh, man. That's sexy.
No, don't WebMD anything ever. Just say, you know how I like
people
to
telling you to stretch?
Yes, it's delightful. I'm like, yeah, I got it.
Yeah. It's like when I was giving birth and the baby was, sunny side up. And she was like, we're going to put your leg up on this table. And I go, if this fucking worked, it wouldn't be a thing. Like, everybody would just put their leg up on a table. Like, just stretch, and then I'm going to be okay.
Yes, that's exactly what they say and is proven. Jen, I don't know how to tell you, but yoga is a lot of stretching. This thing that you want to do every day is involving the thing that you just said you really don't want to do.
Well,
I'm just letting you know what it is.
Whole body why yoga works. It's because all these little tiny muscles that you never utilize get stronger, so you utilize them and they support your back and your core and all those places. A little bit of stretching. Oh,
I don't know. I just feel like I want to go to some place where the room is not too hot, but kind of hot on a mat with a bunch of puppies, and they tell me I can just be in the what's the one where you sleep? The child's pose. I just want to do that for 45 minutes and say that it counts.
Oh, you know what? If they were like, here's some delicious steak fries, and we're gonna alternate with some delicious whatever your favorite.
There's
candy
not
is.
Enough steak fries in the world.
Not. I don't know.
Are we talking steak cut fries? Or are we talking about
the big steak fries?
They're hard to do. They get mushy in the middle, but when they're done right, I'll pound 70 of them.
Yeah, I don't mind
but I like
the mushy in the middle. I like the variation.
Too. Yeah, I want like a saucy, cheesy, meaty, some number. Do you see what we did there?
It all comes back to French fries.
Just cooked. I want to give a quick fit check to my shirt. Which is Go Taylor's boyfriend. This was made for us by a mom in Nebraska, and now I can't flip and remember her name because I have brain fog all the time. But she also made us one that's a tank top that says crop top, my only crop top, or this is my crop top.
Can I tell you that my brain fog is so bad? When you were like, I can't think of her name, I was going to suggest that her name was Jeremy.
Yeah, that's not it.
That's not it.
She's I'm going to find her. I'm going to put her on the podcast because I think these are so cute and very soft.
I get so many compliments on my Taylor's boyfriend.
Check. Yeah, it's the best.
I got to give a shout out to my husband because a thing that he does well that I mentioned it early on. They say like that men a lot of times like in marriage they're like dogs in that not in a bad way. And that they respond to positive reinforcement. They You've
listened to my marriage counselor.
Well, I mean, their brains work differently. He gives me
Compliment
positive
sandwich.
Yeah, he gives me positive reinforcement. I'm like, are you trying to manipulate me right here? What's trying to go on?
Like you started with a really nice thing. What do you want?
What do you want? Yeah. No, but I remember telling him when we were dating, I was like, you always wake up in a good mood. And I really like that about you. Like, it's one
He's like, yeah, because you gave me ass. So now I'm in a good mood.
I don't know. Well, somehow he manages
Listen,
to spite
I
me.
have put out on so many occasions with the words, if I do this, will you be in a good mood literally all day?
Yeah.
And then he promises yes. And then at 4 p.m. when he's starting to get growly, I'm like, I'd like to reference 7:30 a.m. to 7:34
Check your
a.m.
blood sugar and your attitude, buddy.
Yeah,
I think
get it together.
Yeah.
The day is not over.
But he's still most of the time wakes up in a pretty good mood, and if he's not, like, there's usually a reason, like something going on or whatever. But I woke him up yesterday and I go, hey, I forgot to tell you, there is a school fundraiser Thursday night at our house.
Oh,
And
no.
he was like, okay. So, and we've had, because of the California, like the high winds, we had so much damage. We have so much shit in our backyard.
Yeah.
It got messed up, like our big umbrella, like the dartboard that I
It
got
looks
for my
great.
wedding or my
Yeah, that's in
anniversary
Dale's
gift.
yard now.
Yeah. I mean, stuff just like took off. Like all of our privacy fencing got blown down. Like
Yeah.
that. So he's had a lot to do, and he's been pretty nice about it. You saw him. He was restringing up carnival lights outside.
I actually saw you restringing up the lights wearing these very bold pants that
on a ladder that's broken.
I was like, look at her in her 1960s cross-hatched pants at
This
10
weekend.
a.m.
I tell you what, if I'm going to die from
An electric
falling off-
charge.
or falling off a ladder,
And
I'm
she's
gonna
wearing
do
like
it
penny
style.
loafers and she's standing on like a rattan chair. And I'm like, it's like she wants me to just witness her getting a head injury.
Can I tell you what?
not doing that.
If I know that like yesterday we had like an early Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
Like if I know I have to get shit done, I have to get dressed, because if I'm in my comfy cozies, I'm like, you know what I need to do is Instagram.
Yeah.
I need to look at stuff. I need to check my Poshmark. But if I'm like ready to go, I'm
You'll
ready
go.
to go. You'll
See,
it's
at
like
that
putting your
Zoom-
gym shoes on.
That Zoom that we had yesterday was a clear sign of where I was, especially yesterday, because my ass hurt from my sciatica. Who's the 28-year-old hot guy listening to me
Yeah.
now? And I got on that Zoom and I didn't even notice. I've only put on foundation, which included my lips. So I didn't look at myself. And then I was like, who cares? And then I put on a ring light that had like what do you call it? An amber glow. Didn't
Yeah.
notice that either. And I looked in the thing finally and I was like, you look like an Oompa Loompa. Like,
No,
you look like
it was-
somebody should check on you. Like, do a at-home visit.
I did. I was like, hey, Alphaba, you need to brush your hair or put a hat on or something.
I
'cause
just had and then she was really pretty. The gal that we were talking to is a Facebook meeting. And I was like, look at you, you're
Gorgeous.
gorgeous. You don't have any makeup on. Your freaking chin looks
I
great.
have never had this impulse, but I was like, I need to know if God gave you that nose, because
It was a perfect nose.
That is like one of
Here's
those.
why we didn't get anything out of the meeting, because we were both focused on how pretty she was.
When I'm lost in your eyes. God, remember that jam? It's like
Do it.
I get weak with a glance. I'm seducing Kristen, you guys. You should.
What, I want to know the rest of it.
Isn't this what's called romance?
Where
Is
is
it
this
Debbie
from? The Black
Gibson?
Crystal?
I wanna know, 'cause when I'm lost, I can't let go.
How come either I've blocked it out or I don't know it?
Are we getting air bombed right now? What's happening?
Probably.
You guys, every time we go to podcast,
They decided to do.
maybe it's paparazzi. Have we ever thought about that? Listen. Between our mom mafia
Yeah.
that we have that listens and that is like subscribes to our
Yeah.
socials, which do that, you guys make sure you're following us and all
Yes.
the stuff. But between all of them, like they work for the DMV, they work for the bank system, they work for the CIA. Like
They
there's-
work for the schools. They've got connections. I remember very early on, I had done a post and it was just a picture and I can't remember what it was. I think it was me and then Eleanor in the background, like eating something funny or whatever. And within seconds, a mom said, hey, there's mail on your counter and I can read the address. So you need to take this post down. I was like,
Yeah.
there we go.
Good
I
watching
did
out,
another
Mom.
one in front of the school and they were like, you shouldn't post the kids' school. I'm like, where are you guys? I need
It's
you
crazy.
for
I'll be like,
hire.
I'm like, did a story from Costco, and I get it. Ding! I'm at Costco too. I thought I just saw you in the bulk nut aisle. I thought so.
My favorite was when I was in Nebraska. God bless Nebraska folks. And I think I've said this before, but I was at Shields and I was trying to find a new pair of running shoes.
Oh yeah.
And let me just explain something to you. I do not have a good resting face. I look like I'm frowning. Like I am
me too.
frowning
I
because
look
I'm
so
looking at the price of
confused and
shoes and I'm
angry.
like, $160. What are you talking about? So I'm looking at shoes and I did feel like someone was watching me, but I never like think of it like that. I was just like kind of self-conscious. And then this really nice woman sent a picture of me looking at the shoes and I'm just like scowling. And she's like,
Yeah.
I saw you at Shields, but I didn't want to bother you. So I thought I'd take this picture of you. And I was like recon? Like I gotta like be aware of myself more because I was like, this is a terrible photo, but it was so nice.
I
It was so nice.
I hate it. I always have like a who farted face, like walking around a store, and it's mostly because I like go, damn, I should have brought my readers in. I can't read.
Yeah, you got to
the
borrow
price or I can't-
readers.
yeah.
It's not good.
What were we going to talk about today? I thought we were going to talk about something that we both thought was really fun and exciting to talk
Which
about.
was what? The getting mad at kids?
Oh. I want to recap what just happened. I said we wanted to talk about something fun that got us both excited, and Kristen goes, "Getting mad at kids."
Getting mad at other people's kids.
Oh no!
Okay.
No, do we want to? I don't know. We are fired up about this. Okay.
It is a tricky thing
man, it's
when you run
tricky.
into people who parent different than you, and whether you know them or you don't know them, if their kid is acting like an a-hole, what amount, when can you step in? And I am an impulsive person and I'm a reactive person and I try to steady myself, but like if a kid is being rude, I kind of can't not say something. And I have found that, especially where we live, everybody's a little bit more on the side of the kid than on the side of the on the situation.
Yeah.
I don't know what school you grew up in, but mine were like, she did it. Like there's no world where I was, it was going to look, they were going to look at me first. And then sometimes my mom would say like, okay, all right, I'm going to choose to believe you because I do feel like this is something that you would do. But normally it's like, I think you fucked up.
God, this is where my brain goes is I'm not going to say to a kid, you did this thing wrong because, hey, a kid might be an asshole and that's okay with their parents. And I'm going to get in a disagreement with the parent then. But what I am going to say is you're at the school and this is the level of behavior that's expected. And I'm going to reinforce what the teacher says, what like the handbook
You're going to do it the
says.
right way. I get a little country. I'm like, pipe down, sit down. Like,
Oh, I'm not saying
especially
I-
at sports,
all
if a
right.
kid gets fussy with the ref, I don't go to the parent. I go, you need to cool it. And then I'm the coach's wife, so I get a little bit of grace, but I will say,
Look, I had
pipe down,
I had
sucker.
a tone. Okay, let me back up. This is the thing that happened yesterday that really
Set it off.
chapped my hide, as it
And
were.
don't censor yourself. I can tell you're like taking little steps. Run at it.
I'm
'Cause
not gonna say who
no,
it was.
we're not going to name names,
obviously.
but we can put that on the Instagram later.
I know. This is my wife.
It's me.
It's Kristen. My life is too like interwoven.
No,
you
I know.
It's
Don't
like-
name names.
No,
we don't do
so-
that.
And also, like, my kids mess up too, and I don't want you to put them on blast on your podcast. Like, I respect the
Depends on the
age-
size of the podcast.
Yeah, I mean, 'cause
Have us on. We'll
honestly,
collaborate.
if we can argue and get like more followers and listeners, then we
We'll
will
go
do.
on.
You blast
I'll blame
those
my
kids,
kid.
okay? All right, but that Kristen and I will say, always come from the place of like, we want to see did our kid do it, and if you know,
Yeah.
you can tell if your kid did it, and they're in trouble, right? Okay, so yesterday, Delilah wore her brand new glasses to school.
They're so cute, you guys. They're like wire rim little Hello Kitty glasses, and they're so cute. And they look like they really fit her face well. Like the bridge of her nose. It looks like the glasses are hitting the right.
So
she looks comfortable.
The
cute.
glasses that she picked out before, and I always say this about anybody. I will say this to any adult, child, whatever. It's your face, and you need to feel good about it.
Yeah.
You know, I say that with like whatever you need to do to feel good about your face.
Yeah.
Because literally it is what you present to the world.
And it's also what you see in a reflection. And it can kind of sometimes, I know lately I'm like, do I always look like a wizard? Is that what I am? Is that what I'm leaning into? I should be
you can't judge people for like whiten your teeth, do whatever you want, give it whatever it is
Jen,
that you
I'm
need
trying,
to do.
man.
I'm not you. I'm not saying you. I'm saying in
don't
general.
want to.
So my daughter, you know, it sucks to have to wear glasses when you're 7 or 8. So when she picked these glasses out,
Yeah.
I was like, pick the ones that you want.
Yeah.
Because it's your face, she has to wear them all the time. She's got a bad enough prescription. And so she loves this show, Haley's on It,
Okay.
which is this little Disney cartoon where the girl wears these little cat eye red glasses. So she picked out these ones. Thank God they were covered by insurance that, you know, they look like Haley's on It glasses. And they were big for her face. And
Well, I was just saying these feel like they look like they're going to be more comfortable for her.
the other ones, they were too big. So we would get them adjusted every like couple months because they would loosen up. They were probably like adult or young
She
adult
looked exactly
glasses.
like Jen at any given time. Jen with one Chardonnay.
We love a good, crooked. We love a
little
good
down
pair
on
of
the
huge
bridge.
glasses. Yeah, we're like looking at you side eye.
Yeah.
She is my child, but she loved them. She felt good in them. I would say when they were like getting loose or sliding down her nose, I'm like, are they uncomfortable? Are they serving the purpose? Can you see with them? Like, because that's the main goal that they need to achieve. I say that because when she got this new prescription, they weren't covered by insurance. And they cost a lot. And I was really pissed. Because it was like too soon, or I honestly think maybe our insurance changed in kind of a sucky way, but zero was covered. The appointment wasn't covered. The lenses weren't covered. She's 9 now. I have to get the scratch proofing and everything. I let her pick the lens or pick the frames that she wanted, and all in the appointment and everything. It was about $400.
Oof.
And that's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot, man.
And but she loves these glasses. She feels good in them. They fit perfectly.
So the point of all of this is they're not just a pair of glasses. There's a lot. These are loaded glasses. These are expensive. Sacrifices were made. Glasses.
And
they're meant to be met with compliments and kindness.
And age 9 is statistically the age where girls start to lose confidence.
Yes.
Like they stop asking questions in class. And I'm so highly aware of this. Like Delilah will tell me whenever anybody says anything negative to her. And I it's sort of like she's bouncing it off me to be like, is that true? Or, you know, like, so I go to pick her up from school the other day, yesterday. And she said, these 5th grade boys were mean to me. And I said, well, what'd they do? Because sometimes she can be too sensitive. And she goes, well, somebody said that they thought my glasses were cute. And this boy was standing behind me and he goes, I think they're ugly.
Bro, do you have $400?
And
what do you think you get to just spew your opinion? You're gonna regret it.
Me this with tears in her eyes. And it was funny because at the time I was talking to another mom and I was like, okay, hold on, because we were like trying to coordinate this fundraiser that's happening at my house tonight. You guys
see, that's the trick. Like, do you just go like right to the kid and you're like, hey, knock it off?
That's exactly what I did.
I mean,
because I was like, my plate is full and I'm gonna handle this right now. I go, do you see the kid who did it? She goes, yeah, the kid over there in the sweatshirt. I go, all right.
Jen gets in her fiery pants.
And like the mom and the mom's kid and then my kid are walking behind me like, what are you gonna do? And they're like, the kid's behind the gate. And I said to him, I go, there was a guy like who worked at the school. He's like, are you here picking up? I go, no.
I'm tearing down.
I'm talking to I go, Was everybody being
punch
nice
that sucker?
He's
He's a fifth grader, by the way. Don't bury the lead. He's fifth grade, and Delilah is a fourth grader.
And he's a foot taller
and
than
he's
her.
big.
Yeah.
So, like, let's just paint the picture for what it is. This kid is not a cute little first grader who has some impulsive opinion. This is a fifth grader, and a fifth grader should know better than to say something that rude to a little girl.
Yeah.
So, you know,
it's
hey.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to say something to you. Probably not nice about your goddamn Fila jumpsuit or your fucking,
Yeah.
you know. He's
More
a grown-ass
fashion
man, in my
choices.
opinion. If you can look me in the eye, you can take a punch.
I asked Delilah, I go, well, what did you say when he said that? Because there's always a good chance with my daughter and with me that an apology is owed after the anger is had.
Well, so?
Well, so she goes, all I did was like pull my glasses down on my nose and look over the top at him. So
What the hell? What if
I
she
know.
did say something mean? That kid opened the floodgate. Like, I'm so.
I
You're
do
supposed
tell
to
her
throw
to.
control. You're supposed to have all the control when somebody says something mean to
No,
you.
I tell her, I'm like, you're allowed to match somebody's energy. You don't have to be a wilting flower. Like if he embarrassed her in front of people. But she hadn't done anything. So I said to him, I go, hey, was everybody being nice? I'm locked in eye contact. I go, was everybody being nice at talent show rehearsal today? And he turns away from me and I go, hey, I'm talking to you. Was everybody being nice at talent
Yes, ma'am.
show rehearsal today? He goes, no. I go, who wasn't being nice? And he throws his buddy under the bus. And I go, well, I'm going to email the teacher because everybody needs to be kind and courteous during these rehearsals.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make sure she knows.
Sometimes I
people
just want to kick the door down, you know, especially now especially Eleanor, who's in sixth grade, and I feel like we're starting to get into all the crap that happens with sixth grade girls and triangulations and always like asserting dominance. And it's like at an all girls school, there's always a little something going on. And I'm not saying she's perfect, but she's very sweet and she's very soft spoken. I don't even understand how I bore her because she's not like me, who would be reactive and like I would have fired back something mean too. Because
when you were a kid.
When I was a kid, because even still, like, hey man, there's times that comments are made and I'm like, it's really hard for me not to say something right here. And sometimes I have, because I think, first of all, I think it's really easy to tee up and say something really shitty on social media because you're not standing in front of that person.
Yeah.
And I've said more times than not, Cheryl, if I was standing in front of you right now, I don't think you would say this to me. I think you would like me. I think I would like you, and you would respect me, and I would respect you. So don't leave a shitty comment because you're having a fucking bad day.
Yeah.
It's beneath all of us. It's beneath us. Don't comment on my looks. Don't comment on my weight. Don't comment. Like, you can have a different opinion than me. That's fun. Like, fine. And I'm putting myself out there, but, you know, take shots at stuff that's fair. Like, there's nothing you're going to say about me that I don't already know, you know?
Right.
So, again, if I'm standing in front of you, you're not going to say this. So with Eleanor, I think, man, it's tricky because I'm trying to navigate her being a different personality than me.
Yeah, it's
and
hard.
that's really hard because she is a little bit like, you know, these girls are like taking her lunch seat and she'll get up and move to a different table. And I get furious. I'm like, I do. I want to be there and be like her bouncer and be like, I'm sorry. Did you not see that she was already sitting here? You can kindly fuck off.
Well,
like, I do not fucking care, man.
We're Gen X
I
parents.
really,
Like, when we were growing up, there really wasn't always a rush to defend you.
No, there was nobody to defend us.
Yeah. So I realized when I'm dealing with Delilah that, like, my skin's like 3 feet thick in a bad way sometimes.
With Delilah,
when I'm telling her how to deal with that kind of situation, she is a different person than me, you know?
Yeah.
And she really, it's really upsetting to her to think that somebody would, and I think Eleanor's this way, to think that somebody would intentionally be mean hurts her. And I'm like, fuck them, man. I don't say that to my 9-year-old.
Well, we're older now and we can do that. It's been trained in us, but I do have to try to put myself back in her
shoes.
Like, my husband is also, I mean, anytime I can throw him under the bus, I will. But it's very interesting because his personality and Eleanor's personality are more similar. And when Colin was little, he was a sweet little boy. He was sweet. He wasn't mouthy. He was just kind of this, fluffy, sweet little boy that was the third, he's the youngest.
Yeah.
So he was very like
The baby.
sensitive and all of that. And then of course now he's like 6'3" and burly and full of hair and full of like lots of opinions at 45 years old. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's very different.
Yeah.
And so he'll come in and to him, it's like he cannot understand the dynamics of girls. Like, first of all, he's 2 older brothers. Like, there's no chance.
Colin, I don't understand the dynamics of girls
But
sometimes.
I say to him, go easy on the advice you give her because you're doing that thing that I hate that sometimes teachers do where they will say to us if we're in a conference about her or any kid, well, if they have a problem, they should come to me. I'm like, fucking grown-ups don't do that.
Yeah.
Like grown-ups will have a problem for 4 years before they have enough to go and confront a problem because it feels like you're going to dismantle everything that you know. And can you imagine having that expectation of a kid or worse, a middle schooler who's like, I want to be a part of everything, but I also just want to blend. But I want to stand out, but I just want to be back here. Like,
yeah.
don't tell her to get chippy with these girls and be like, I was sitting here first. They won't treat her like a boy would treat another boy. They will treat her like girls treat girls. And it's it's more nuanced and it's cunning and they hold grudges and it's a thing. And then it shifts and it's highs and lows and it's a tide. And like, if you're the girl that like went through middle school with 0 issues, good on you. I think there's 4 of them.
Yeah.
But
Who's
most of
that?
us had some version of like dealing with somebody who's trying to, bully or someone who's
Keep you
trying
out
to
of the circle.
keep you out of
or-
the circle or, it's just bullshit stuff that you kind of have to survive. And I think there is a reason for it. I think at the end of the day, when you have survived that and your personality is shaped and you can rise above it, the relationship you have with women is unmatched.
Yeah.
It is the people, that's our crowd. We've all been through it.
Yeah.
But we get to be little baby giraffes too as you're figuring out. I have all these very articulated feelings. I get to be a little off here and there. So that's why I say with Eleanor, I'm quick to give her advice because I'm like, I'm so reactive because I remember what middle school was like, but I have to remember she has to kind of go through some of these things to assert herself and also to figure out her own personality. But don't make no mistake. I'm fucking sitting in my car. I'm taking notes of who people are. I'm having
for sure.
Maybe I'm doing a roundhouse kick to some of them that are tall.
I don't listen. I don't want her to react because it is.
But
that
boys
whole-
are different.
Look,
They come at you in a different way.
but also like, look, I'm not even trying to follow the Buddhist way, but like, the most Zen you can be is to always be your best self, no matter what's going on around you.
I think that's
you know?
an unrealistic expectation.
I hate myself when I go low. I really do. I'm disgusted by myself because it's a thing I really try not to do, honestly. Like I would rather be so cool and laid back and whatever. So
I don't. I feel good when I go low sometimes because because I feel like I'm a balloon that's ready to pop and
you feel good about the release, but you don't necessarily feel
about
like,
the result. I also think
It's
because
like when
we're
that-
adults, our reactions are very different.
Kristen and I saw this really shitty guy at a bar one time, and he
Oh, boy.
couldn't believe we were comedians. And he accused my sneakers of being Vans, which are fine. I own several pairs of Vans.
Oh, boy.
But these were, in fact, Golden Goose, and I fucking lost my mind on it.
Yeah, there's been
Kristen was like, I think everyone reacted really poorly about the shoes, and I don't think anybody feels good about that moment.
I was like,
And
what are Golden Goose? I don't know what we're fighting
I
about.
was like, don't act like you know anything, you drunk
Well-
ass bro. He honestly had like an axe wound to his head, and like it was.
You never know what's
Don't
going to
belittle
set
these
you off.
two chicks, especially after we've smelled alcohol.
It's so okay. This literally happened to me today, and I just remembered because it's so apropos to this conversation. I got a real nasty old guy in my neighborhood, and he's not on my block, which I love. He's like, it's not John. I love John. He's just got a lot of particulars, but I actually kind of love it about him, and I love his son Michael. So we've got this very eclectic group on our block, but behind my block, which I constantly forget, there's this dude, and let me just paint the picture. The guy's pushing 70. He wears a goddamn Grateful Dead t-shirt that's like freaking tie-dyed, fanny pack, cargo shorts, and Crocs.
I mean, he sounds pretty cool, honestly.
No, he's not. And a fisherman's hat. And he looks like he's smelling something bad every time. And this bro walks by my house twice a day with his obnoxious big-ass dog. And every time he walks by, because I can't stop myself because I'm Midwest and I never want to go low, I say hello. Because my grandfather was like, doesn't cost you a nickel, but it makes someone feel like $1 million. So I'm always saying fucking hi, right? And sometimes I stopped myself because I think he's rude. So anyway.
Maybe just look up at him and go,
I'm like, hello.
Rude.
That was as rude as I get.
So Midwesterner, fuck off.
Yeah, that was my Midwest fuck off. If I only get the HE out, you might as well, we're in a wrestling match. So I walk around the block with my dog. I'm not thinking about what's going on. I just want this dog to crap. And I walk around and I forget every time that sometimes this guy sits outside with his dog and his dog is aggressive, big, and attacks the fence like he wants to chew through it so he can destroy Daisy. And it's so loud. And I don't know why he doesn't call off his dog. And so for the corner in the corner, I have to walk like I'm not being attacked by this dog.
Oh, God.
And I finally looked at him today and I was like, oh, great. Your dog's great. I was like, well, you showed him, Hensley. Boy, meanwhile, I'm walking back and I'm like, I should have said this instead. Like, I'm thinking of the ways I could have gone low.
Yeah,
so now I've prescribed this thing that I'm like, next time I walk around his house, I've got a thing to tell him. But, you know, you
replay that in your head for the next 4 nights.
And that's my thing with the kids. I always say to them, you might get your moment. You're not going to do the right thing is to let the other person win sometimes. It just is.
For sure.
It feels the hardest thing to do is to know that someone is doing something shitty and to try to rise above it, which is so fucking hard. Yeah. And in middle school feels like you are confronted with that decision every 2 hours.
Well, so that's what so it happens every day, like every 2 hours, like you said. And I say to her most of the time, let it go. Wait a couple days. See if maybe they're tired, maybe they're not feeling well, maybe whatever. Like, if it keeps happening every day for a week, they've got a new jam going. Yeah, then you can. But
then it feels targeted.
Yeah. So that guy always passes your house, and every time you pass his house, there's a shitty exchange that
every
happens.
Single time, and I try.
That's who he is, okay? Like a kid who's 9 doesn't get enough sleep some days. They have hormones going.
Oh my God.
Who knows what's going on with their parents? Nobody knows. Like, give them a couple
giving
days.
Grace. You're giving him grace.
I used this opportunity to say this to her. She goes, well, it was, because one kid said it and throws the other one under the bus. And I said, you know what's really hard at the age you're at is to not go with the flow. And it's hard when your friend does a bad thing to be brave enough to say, that wasn't very nice.
Yeah.
But it's a really good habit to get into, not being an accomplice by not saying anything in those situations. I'm like, hey, that kid, whether he was in on it, because he didn't say anything, and I want her to have the voice too, where if somebody does say, like, her friend yesterday was in a bad mood, obviously, told her that she was annoying, and sometimes she can be annoying.
Oh, shit.
So I said,
girls are the worst. We're just don't nuance it. We're not we never are like, you know what I need? I need a little space. We're just like, you're fucking annoying. I'm like, yeah, cut to the quick, Amber.
And I said, I go, just, say it hurts have enough confidence to say, oh, that hurts my feelings, or that wasn't very nice. Like, you can get a lot of miles out of saying, that wasn't very nice.
Yeah.
Whether somebody says it to you or you observe somebody saying it. Because it kind of calls people, it gives them a second to have to justify themselves, or you'll definitely take the intensity down a few notches.
Totally. And I also think the difference between kids and adults, hopefully, is that we recognize as adults that there is fallout. If you don't, as my dad would so delicately say, don't shit where you eat. You know, don't make things worse for her. Don't make things worse for yourself. I actually find the hardest thing, and this is not me. This is not me talking in a passive aggressive way to say that it's you. So don't think it's you. But it is it is hard to have conversations with parents that you're friends with if their kid is doing shit that isn't cool. And I know that my kids can be guilty as sin of whatever it is they're being accused of. It's so weird. I wonder if we're all just responding to like seventh or sixth grade where you're like, if I say one thing, it's social fallout for 18 years.
Yeah, well, come to find out, as soon as I walk away talking to the kid in a hoodie, it is my friend's son.
Oh boy.
I didn't.
You're like, I got to talk to you.
Yeah, but and my friend was like, well, you should talk to her. Go, I think it's diffused. Like, that kid got the message that, like, and I did. I emailed the teacher and I said, I mean, she's got eyes on 40 kids, and I just said, this is going on. The older kids aren't behaving. They're not like.
Yeah. And I think you, as a parent, you have to choose. Like, I really do think you have to be, first of all, let me just say this. I think it's 100% fair and expected for a parent to get involved if you think your kid is getting bullied to the point where they're really suffering, full stop.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You are protecting your kid. Your kid needs to see you're protecting them. You need to do what you need to do. I also think like sometimes we can stand outside of the circle and sort of like just be there to guide and listen and try not to interfere too much. It's so fucking hard because like the second, especially Eleanor tells me something like went down at school, I'm like, well, I didn't know I was going to get in a fight today. Like there's something so deeply but I do think diffusing it's a good idea. Choosing what is the real event that would make you step in, like make sure it's.
I don't get involved that much,
I haven't yet.
I don't, or I would handle it with the parent before, but this just felt like.
Just say the thing and be done.
Yeah, be done with it. So obviously, I'm not like overprotective or coddling my child. She gets called annoying. I'm like, kind of deal with that. It's a peer. But this was like an older kid.
Yeah, it's
and it
picking
was,
on.
It felt
also,
like
you just sprung $400 for those glasses. So shut up, Trevor.
There are some things that we all need to be in agreement that we're not going to do that, which is things that people can't change in 15 minutes. Have you seen that talk?
I love
that teacher gives that talk?
I love it, love it.
So words like ugly or fat or dumb, or if somebody has something
glasses,
that they were
or difference,
or a speech impediment or something they are born with that can't be changed, it needs a stop to that right away.
Yeah, the 15-minute rule. If you can't change it in 15 minutes, don't say it. Now, if they're doing something obnoxious and there's like, hey, knock it off. I can't focus on my schoolwork or like, whatever.
In my opinion, those are nuclear things that can really dismantle a kid's confidence.
Totally.
Because they can't do anything about it. And if you have a problem with me saying, I don't like you using the word ugly with my kid.
Who says that?
That's what I'm saying.
I'm wrestling.
That's what I'm saying.
How dare you?
I will go down in
She's
a
perfect.
triumphant ball of flames where my ass is kicked and I'm in traction and I don't care.
I don't know, man. I think I'm on the beginning of a journey where I just got to like try not to explode. I don't want to be on anybody's TikTok losing my shit, but it might happen. I'm doing my best, man. All right. Let's go to, do we have a hot flash? Or a mom docs?
Okay, so this is
welcome to a mom box.
This is a mom box from Tanya S. So she's referring to a podcast that was from a couple weeks ago where I mentioned that my daughter had really taken off a big bite and was singing.
Everybody is.
Wicked in the talent show.
Defying gravity, to be specific.
Which also, that was a part of it. You're in the talent show. You feel a little bit nervous. You're putting yourself out there.
Yeah, with the hardest song ever written.
Yeah.
Like a 5-octave range.
Holy cow.
Jesus, everybody should know. You just sing the Beatles. It's only 3 chords.
Oh my God. Just, yeah.
What are you doing?
You do a rap. You don't
Also
have
a
to,
trill.
Really, yeah.
That
Yeah,
like
and
hardest
she
thing.
She is trying to nail it too,
Yeah.
you guys.
Well.
Okay. So, okay. So Tanya said, I listened to last week's podcast. In 6th grade, I sang My Heart Will Go On for my school talent show. I had absolutely no business singing that. Was I upset and embarrassed that I butchered this song? Nope. I was embarrassed because the CD skipped and then kept skipping. I should have taken that as a hint from the Holy Spirit that I should just stop.
She's trying to sing with the skip.
My heart will go on, but the song won't. But her look was on point, and she sent, oh my God, she sent a little picture
Oh God.
of looking fly, Tanya.
Looking fly. Tanya
God.
singing My Heart. Sing that song. My Heart Will Go On.
You're here, there's nothing I fear.
We're going to have to check that out. Casey actually can sing. And so
Yeah.
then when we sing.
Did that hurt you,
Casey, do the
Casey?
trill. Do the trill. So fucking. My favorite thing is on TikTok right now, everybody's trying to do the trill.
Oh, yeah.
It's equal. It levels the playing field.
Oh, yes. It's,
Yes. Well,
it's-
Tanya.
I say middle. I say like elementary school is the time to take these big swings, and who knows?
Heck yeah.
You know?
Leave them wanting more.
So I will update you on my right now. Real confident, as I mentioned. She only took
yeah.
4 dance classes. Said she could quit because she knew how. So she's a confident
that
girl. I don't
isn't
want that to go away. You
The
guys.
way they think. I've done 4 classes. I know dance.
I already know how to.
I know the
dance.
art form.
Yeah, so-
I've taken 2 French classes. Good to go.
Yeah.
And what I don't
No,
know,
I know
I'll just
French.
mix in with.
I can figure it out.
I
Yeah.
literally listen to my son speak French, and I'm like, I don't think there's any French in that. I think he thinks that I don't know French, so I can't tell that he's just doing gibberish. He's also an 8th grader, so this feels very different than a 4th grader having bravado and my 8th grader having bravado
It's incredible.
and no one having vibrato.
See, this is what happens. Like and I'll say this, I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to call this like a healthy home environment. Like
Yeah.
you become a well-rounded person with confidence. And I don't know how that you come about that naturally. It was
Right.
not me.
Listen, also my parents
not
would
me.
not ever just listen to me sing something and let me get through it and then give me their gentle notes. They'd be like, God, no.
No.
Like two
like-
notes in, go lower.
You'd be up in your room with the door closed and you'd hear from the bottom of the stairs, Shut up! Shut up! I'm
Yeah.
on the phone!
I can't deal with that noise. Yeah, and I'm like, Jesus, I was really giving
Whatever
it.
music you're listening to, turn it off!
Turn it off, it's too loud. I just need it quiet for a minute with you damn kids.
And hence the thick skin we mentioned.
Yep. And we're all doing our best. That's who's parenting your kids these days is us.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gen X. And thanks for Did We Podcast?
I think so.
Pioneer.